Let's talk everyday makeup. Welcome back. Today I just want to go through and talk through my everyday makeup. So let's get started. First, I want to go through the basics, which don't involve skincare or makeup. Basically just the everyday routines I have to make sure that my skin is looking its best, so that when I do go to put on makeup every day, it's that much easier. I don't have to use as much. Things that you've heard before, I'm sure. So drinking enough water, staying hydrated, and going to the gym. Like, I feel like sweating really does help clear out my skin. Another thing is sleep, and sleep is something that I really need to work on personally. I personally have a hard time sleeping only because I feel like my brain zooms. Like, I have such intense brain zoomies that it keeps me up at night. Like, my brain will just keep going and spiraling through things I have to do. Talk more on that later. But if I can get more than 6 hours of sleep, I'm very happy. But I know that ideally when I get 7 or 8 hours of sleep, my skin looks so good the next day. Like, and when I get less than 6 hours of sleep, my eyes and my face just get so puffy. I do have one of those like ice rollers. I do feel like those help. I feel like when I do that every day or even like twice a day, I just keep it in my fridge, but just rolling your face out or doing some sort of gua sha does make a difference, like so much for me. So doing those things every day as well. Another thing, like, I've been asked if I use a red light mask, and no, I don't, but I do really want one. There's this one from Nuance I've had my eye on for a while, but I haven't done it yet. I'm waiting for it to go on sale because there are like some sort of like sales that happen throughout the year. Like, I know that it went on sale for, I think, Black Friday or Christmas or something, and I should have bought it then. So I know that it goes on sale, so I'm keeping my eye out for when it goes on sale again. I'm gonna buy that. But there's actually so many cool like red light tools available now. Like, there's obviously like hair ones, like a helmet I've seen that like I'm supposed to be good for scalp health and like hair health. So I really like that, although I don't have like that much of an issue with that, but I think it'd be cool. And I've also seen shower ones, like a shower head, and it's just like showers down red light like in your shower while you're showering. Like, that's so cool. Masks. I guess we're kind of stepping more into the skincare and like maybe not daily but weekly maintenance. I do exfoliate. I am a big believer in like physical exfoliation. I have like the Zoe exfoliating polish. I love that. I feel like it really does like get the grime out of my skin. Other things I have this here, the Dr. Dennis Gross, the Alpha Beta Universal Daily Peel. I don't do it daily. It is a little harsh on my skin. I know there's like a one for sensitive skin. I just use the regular one, but I probably should use the sensitive one actually. But I just use that like once or twice a week. Another thing I do is I self-tan my face. So I know there's a lot of like facial self-tanners on the market, but I haven't found one that I really liked because some of them do break me out because they're quite like jelly. And there's some that you can like mix with your skincare. There's some that you just put on that has skincare in it. I haven't found one that I liked. I actually just use the one that I use on my body. Like, I have the Loving Tan Mousse, which I love. That's like my number one self-tanner for my body. But I have been using that on my face too, and that's what I put on last night. It only lasts a couple days, so I do have to put it on, a couple times a week. And then I have to skip my skincare because you can't get it wet. So that is the thing with like the body mousse, is you can't put anything like any moisturizer on after. So I do kind of sacrifice a night of skincare to have my face tanned, but I am really like on point with my skincare usually, so I think sacrificing a day for that is worth it. But there's that, and it really does make a difference, honestly. It's also because I tan my body so much that my face gets so pale that when it just like doesn't make sense, and I just look sick if I don't have some sort of color on my face. So there's that. And other things I do, for me personally, I am very blonde. Like, my lashes are blonde, my brows. I see if I can pull up my old photo of me without my eyebrows tattooed, but I do get microblading a couple times a year, and I do still dye my brows. So I do that maybe once every 2 weeks. And then I've also been dyeing my lashes recently. I used to go get them done, but it's like, I think it's like $40 each, which is like $80 every few weeks. And I'm like, I swear I could do this at home. So I just ordered some stuff from Amazon. I'll link it down below, but it's life-changing, and it's actually not that hard to do at home. It takes like my brows take like maybe 10 minutes total, like from like pouring the stuff out, mixing it, applying it, letting it sit, taking it off, 10 minutes, and it's amazing. So recommend that if you have to. Hope maybe you don't have to. The thing with the microblading is it does work quite well. I can do a video on microblading after because it's been a big journey for me, and I've done it twice a year for the last like, I think like 6 to 8 years. I don't remember how long now, but I have like no eyebrows without them, so it has been life-changing for me. But my hair is still like, the microblading is like a tattoo on your skin, but my hair is still so blonde that it like shines through, so I have to dye the hair still. That's kind of like my outside of the skincare makeup kind of, that's what I do outside of that. But for my daily, if I have time, I will use an eye patch. And I should say eye mask. Eye patch makes it sound like I'm trying to be a pirate. But I have used the Summer Fridays jet lag ones. Those are really nice. They're really cooling and moisturizing, so I love that. I actually just bought the Road ones because they came back in stock. I feel like they're always sold out, so I actually have them here. So let's give those a try. Oh my gosh, I'm like, they actually look really big. I actually heard really good things about these. The things most like eye masks, I feel, are they like fall down, and that it is true about the Summer Fridays ones. Like they're kind of like a gel pad, and I do feel like I do have to constantly like slide them back up. I mean, you only wear them for 10 minutes, so it's like, really, what's the big deal? But you do, they do slide down. I heard that these ones don't slide down, so I'm really excited to try. This is my first time trying the Road ones, and I have heard really good things. Oh my gosh, these are, maybe I put them too high. Ooh, they do feel really nice. So there are supposed to be the Peptide Eye Prep Depuffing Eye Patches. I just got like the Road pattern. I think there's like 3 different patterns. You apply for 10 to 15 minutes. Use 2 to 3 times per week for best results. Obviously, like before work in the morning, I don't do these, but usually I do them more like at night, or if I'm going out and I have time to kind of do more skin prep, then I will do this. Another thing people ask about is like lip prep, and I still love Laneige. I feel like Laneige was like, I guess Laneige is still popular. I feel like Laneige was really popular like a year ago or a couple of years ago. There's like the Laneige nighttime like face mask, and then the lip mask. But I have this like Laneige lip glowy balm. I have a lot of balms, even like the Road one. I like the Laneige like so much more. I have the Laneige lip glowy balm in grapefruit. I just feel like it feels so nice. It's not sticky, it's very moisturizing, and it looks so good. I'll use this later too. Like sometimes I will prep my lips with it, but if I don't, then I will put on like a lip liner and then like blend it in with this, and we'll talk about that later. But I love Laneige for that. But I also thought that we could chat today because, as you may or may not know, I just came back from Mexico City for my birthday trip. It was like birthday, Valentine's Day, and kind of like our anniversary. Our first date anniversary is at the end of January, so it was kind of like a mashup of that. But yeah, so I guess I'm very like mid-30s right now, and I'm just feeling very, I don't want to say midlife crisis, because it's not a crisis and it's not midlife, but I'm just feeling very overwhelmed with life. And I feel like a lot of people feel this way too, but I feel like I still feel quite young, which is good. But I also just feel very like I should be at a different place in my life. Like I don't feel as old as my age is. I just turned 35. I'm very content with where I am, but it's more about who I should be, if that makes sense. I just feel like maybe it's being a woman or just this day and age or something, but we're supposed to be a type of person, and I just don't know who I am yet. Like I got married last year, adopted the cutest dog ever. If you don't follow me on Instagram, you see that I post her almost every day. I just feel like there's still an old part of me. Maybe it's also because my life has changed so much in the past couple of years. Like I moved to LA from Canada like almost 3 years ago, and then I got married last year. We adopted a dog. I also changed careers in like 3 years ago. So I'm just unsure of who I'm supposed to be. Like I feel like I'm supposed to be this like super amazing wife. I'm supposed to be this like career focused person, this dog mom, this like athlete, because I still love working out and I need to do it for mental health and physical health. Like I want to try to work out like at least 5 or 6 days a week. I also have so many personal goals. Like I want to start my own business. I want to continue baking. Baking is like one of my favorite hobbies. I need to have some sort of creative outlet in some way, whether that is like content creation, baking, anything like that. I also want to, Chris and I talk about having kids in the near future. So I'm also supposed to be a mother, and I'm finding it really overwhelming to try and be all these different people when I'm just one person. So I don't know if that's like a shared experience. I'm sure a lot of people I talk to feel the same. Like, it's just, there's so many different options available to us. And then we scroll through social media and we see, like, we follow bakers, we follow people who are like mom content creators. Because also I feel like I'm like, is social media to blame? Okay, let's just take these off now. They do feel nice. Do they feel anti-puffing? Maybe a little, actually. Ooh, I feel like that really did depuff. Oh, that's nice. That was a good purchase. I'll purchase again. Ooh, actually, let's just start with the skincare. So before I sat down and before I put the eye patches on, skincare wise, I use either SkinCeuticals, Zoe, or Skin Better Science. And this is all, I go to Jen Hollander. She has her own office in Santa Monica now, and I saw her for my skin. I actually am very lucky. I've never had like an acne issue, or I've always had really good skin. It's more just I have dry skin, and like especially these in-between seasons, like these transitional seasons, I get very dry. So it's just like I really do have to keep up with my skincare, or else I will just like my skin will like flake. So what I do use is the Metacell Renewal B3 by SkinCeuticals. This is what I start with, and I also use a Zoe cleanser. And then I actually, let's go back. In terms of skincare and washing my face at the end of the day, I actually triple cleanse, which I feel like people might think that that's really unhealthy and probably why my skin is so dry. But I first use like a oil-based, what is it? The Solwasu makeup remover. So that just takes off my makeup. I then use a Zoe cleanser, and then I use a why don't I have this memorized? I use an Origins micellar cleanser, so that just kind of takes off anything that I might have missed, and it's also a little moisturizing too, so I love that one for that too. And then I go in with SkinCeuticals Metacell Renewal B3. I use this morning and night, and I also use the SkinCeuticals Hydrating B Gel morning and night as well. I do have a retinol I use at night, and for eye cream, I'm like so-so with my eye cream. I should probably use it more often, but I do find that some are so strong for me that I've developed those like little like white spots sometimes. So I'm like scared to use too much, but I've never had that issue with this one. It's a Dr. Jart Ceramidin one. It's just very moisturizing. I love it. So it's that, or I do the eye patches and then I just like obviously leave it on, like leave on the residual from the eye patch or eye mask. I have to say eye mask. I keep saying eye patch. And then I go in with an SPF. So I just recently picked this one up because the one I had before, I feel like, oh, I got dog hair in my mouth. The one I used to use, I felt like wasn't strong enough. I feel like it would wear off really easily and I didn't love the texture. But this one I recently picked up before Mexico City, the Shiseido. It's so light and it's so nice on the skin. It has hyaluronic acid in it, so very moisturizing, SPF 40. I live in LA, so I do need to wear this every day, and I do not mind putting this on every day. So that's kind of like my skincare and what I go into makeup with. I don't use a primer. I don't want to say that I don't believe in primer. Oh my gosh, I feel like I have a dog hair on my, okay. I don't want to say that I don't believe in primer, but I feel like there's a time and a place for primer. I use the sunscreen as my primer. Let's get started on makeup. So I use two things for my base. I use the Summer Fridays Sheer Skin Tint and the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. So depending on how much coverage I want, I will change the ratio that I mix together. So sometimes I will just go in with the Summer Fridays Sheer Skin Tint. I won't, let me take off my ring. I won't even put any Armani in it, but sometimes, because the Summer Fridays is like a sheer, it's a skin tint, it's not even a foundation, it's not a lot of coverage, but I feel like it does really even out my skin tone quite a bit on its own. But if I want a bit more coverage, I will put in some Luminous Silk too. So I don't know if you can see, but it's just like I put quite a bit of the Summer Fridays and then the Luminous Silk, just like maybe one full pump, and then I'll mix it together. I do use my hands. I feel like it just gives like, kind of warms it up and just gives it like the most even kind of coverage. Otherwise, I do have an IT Cosmetics, the number 7 brush, which I do love. It's probably like my favorite foundation brush. And then I just bring it down the neck a bit. Plus I feel like if you use a brush, like the brush absorbs some of the makeup, and I just feel like your hands don't absorb that much. So I feel like it also saves product. I don't know, it just makes me feel better. So I feel like already, like I barely used any, it just evens out my skin tone so much. I should probably tell you what colors I use. I am pretty pale on my own, but I am like recently, obviously I put a mousse on my face and on my body. I use 6.5 for the Luminous Silk foundation, and then the Summer Fridays I use shade 4, and it's perfect for me. I do have more of like a neutral undertone. I usually go like light medium or light neutral with my foundations or like face products. And then next I go in either with my concealer or my bronzer. I kind of switch off. Lately I've been doing more of the concealer first. So again, I use the Luminous Silk concealer in the shade 4.5. And I don't know if I don't know if people still do this, but I take it out and I put a bit on my hand and I kind of let it, I don't want to say oxidize, but I kind of let it maybe like set a bit on my skin so that it kind of, you know, gets exposed. It kind of like the I want to say like the liquid evaporates a bit and becomes more concentrated, so there's more coverage. I don't know the science behind it, but I feel like it does make a difference. And I also just apply that with my fingers. So for me, all I really have to do is go under my eye. Like I don't really do too much concealer. Sometimes if I have like a spot on my face, like I do have kind of a zit there, but whatever. I think over the years I've gotten like less particular about like uneven skin, because I feel like for a while it was like a big thing to have like the perfect skin, like airbrush skin like every day. But I'm just like, I kind of like when it's a little less perfect. Well, my skin does have some imperfections right now. I think I might be allergic. I don't want to say it, but I might be allergic to my dog. I've had dogs all growing up, German Shepherd dogs too, and she's like half German Shepherd, half Husky. So I don't know why I would, but I think just sometimes she does make me a little like itchy. And if I do kind of like put my face on her or like go to kiss her or something, the next day I have like breakouts. I don't know. And we do bathe her like every couple weeks. So I kind of go in. I'm more heavy with my bronzer, as you may or may not know. I'm heavy with my bronzers. I have been using the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer forever. It is my all-time favorite. It has the really great finish. It's like a balm. It's not too glowy, but it's not matte, and I just love how it looks. But I'm taking a bit of a break. I've repurchased this. This is my like core makeup that I have right now. I've probably repurchased everything before, but this I have purchased. This is probably like my 5th one because I love it so much. But I have, now that we're kind of getting, I mean in LA it's sunnier, so I'm very thankful and grateful that I'm able to kind of move on to this Westman Atelier I have, because I bought it a long time ago. The Westman Atelier Sun Tone Bronzing Drops in Soleil Parfait 1. I bought this a while ago and I thought that it might have been breaking me out, but I don't think it was now that I think about it. But I pressed pause on it for a little bit, but now I feel like I'm seeing it all over like social media and TikTok and stuff, and I'm like, I'll go back to it. And what I do is I kind of the same thing, like I just put it on my hand and I'll get one of my brushes. We'll use the IT Cosmetics number 7 brush. Usually I use a different brush, and I just kind of, it is like a bronzing one, so it's a bit warmer, but because I use the palest shade, it has a bit of a more warm neutral. It's not cool, but it's not too warm. I think the big thing is that it is quite glowy. So I used to add this to my foundation, but I did find that it's so glowy, like it's so nice. Like look at the glow. It's so glowy, so nice, but when my whole face looks like that, it's a little much. So now I kind of just restrict it, but I do treat it kind of like a contour. The other thing I will say is I feel like the Westman Atelier does set better than the Makeup by Mario, because the Makeup by Mario is like a balm finish. It is like a balm. It's very moist, which is nice, but I feel like, not that it doesn't last all day, but I do feel like I have to put a powder on to set it. For this one, I don't feel like I really have to put a powder. So that's that. I have been using, instead of the number 7 IT Cosmetics brush, this kind of brush. It's kind of the same, but it's a little flatter, I guess, than the IT Cosmetics brush. But this is what I normally use to put it on all over my face. But I literally put this on my eyes too, because I do, again, like I feel like this sets a bit better. With the Makeup by Mario, when I put it on my eyelids, like because it's so balmy, it does kind of, it creases throughout the day for sure. Like I have to wipe it, like the crease off my eyelids a couple times in the morning. And then I will go in, I might even get a little, just like a little brush, and put in some under my eye. on this like kind of, instead of using a eyeshadow or anything. You'll find I don't really use eyeshadows. I feel like it's just too much work, especially for every day. Maybe going out, I mean, I still don't really have like an eyeshadow palette that I'm aware of. I'll just use like a bronzer or like whatever blusher, whatever I'm using, but I like that look. I don't line my eyes. I guess you could say that I line them, but I just use the Kat Von D tattoo liner. I'm just kind of like, do they even still sell this? But I guess so, I keep buying it. But it's a waterproof liquid eyeliner, and I don't line my eyes, but because my lashes are so blonde, like the roots of my lashes are blonde. Well, they're blonde, but if I don't dye them then, or keep up with the dyeing, then the roots are blonde. It just makes my lash line look very insignificant. So I do sometimes go in and just like line and kind of give it more substance. And then sometimes I do this, sometimes I don't, but I'll set my eyes. And again, like the order of all this, I don't know. There's nothing set in stone. But sometimes, especially if I'm going to be working a long shift, I will go in and set my under eyes. So for setting, I will use one of two things. Don't be mad, but sometimes I do use the Givenchy Prisma Libre, the original one. I know. I haven't actually bought the remake of it. So from what I understand, they remade it because there was too much talc in the original. And the remake is like not as good, but I still do have like, I have the tiniest bit left because you really don't need much. So I will go in and kind of like some in the lid, some on my brush, and then just go in and set my under eyes a little bit. Because this is like, it's like, it looks so good for under eyes. The other one I use, because I switch off again because I'm like, I don't want to run out of this. I use the Charlotte Tilbury, I don't know, setting powder. I'll link it down below. But I just have like a mini one because I really don't use that much. But I will just go in with that too. And I will just set like the main like T-zone and whatever and like under my eyes if I have to. But I like the glowy look, so I don't want to overdo it. And then I will go in and do my eyebrows and my lashes. So lashes, I don't always do this, but I do sometimes use a lash primer because I feel like it really does make them look longer. I can easily overdo it though, so please don't let me overdo it. I use the Tarte Opening Act. I feel like I used to use a different one, but they discontinued it, so I had to switch to this one. But I just do a quick little, and while that's kind of setting, I will go into my brows. So again, my brows, they're microbladed, they're dyed. I just kind of make them pop a bit more. So I go in with the Urban Decay Brow Blade. It is the thinnest pen I've seen on the market. I feel like people love like the Valentino. Actually, I think Benefit came out with an even skinnier pen, but skinny, and like it's skinny, but it has a lot of pigment. So there are some that I feel like might be skinnier, but they don't drop. I mean, maybe they're too skinny and they're not like depositing enough pigment for me. This one I've used for years. I bought this a million times. I don't even know how many of these I've purchased, but the Urban Decay Brow Blade is the best. I'll just go in and like literally retrace some of the microbladed hairs and kind of bring them lower and higher. I like a really like feathered brow, and I like to be able to see, like I would like that, what is that called? When you get your brows, not microbladed, what am I trying to say? Oh, what is it called? When you get your brows like laminated? I love that look. I could never do that because I don't have any eyebrows to begin with, and it like would do nothing for me, but I like that look, so I try and draw it with a pen. But anyways, while I'm doing this, back to our talk. I feel like I started off talking and then I just got so focused on the makeup. But yeah, I think now that I'm in my mid-30s, I'm like trying, I mean, it's just, life is getting kind of serious, and it's like, I'm supposed to be having kids soon, I guess. So I'm supposed to be a mother, I'm supposed to be a wife, I'm supposed to be career driven. I want to be an entrepreneur too. Like I have to follow these like professional goals, personal goals, like family goals, like all these things. I'm like, how do people do it? And I'm like, don't get me wrong, like I'm so grateful like that I can do all of these things. I think I just personally get so overwhelmed sometimes. And that's the other thing, is like I feel like I am so lucky to have this life that I have to live it to like the fullest. I don't want to just sit and do nothing. I've never been a stagnant person. I've never been one to just be like content with where I am. Like I'm always moving on to the next thing. But at what point is it like too much? Because I do feel like I'm so bad at like living in the moment and just being content with where I am. Like at what point do I just be like, you know what? I'm good. Like I've done a lot in life. Like I'm at a good place. Like I just want to sit back and enjoy it. Like I feel like will I ever be that person, or should we ever be that person, or should we always kind of like strive for the next? Like I want to be that person where I'm in one place very happy and content with what I've accomplished, and I am, but also like am I always going to be striving to do the next thing? Because I feel like I have been like that, where I'm like trying to do better in every aspect of my life, but sometimes it can almost be self-destructive. Not self-destructive, that sounds really bad. It compromises my life, because even my husband says it. He's like, you life passes you by so fast. Like you're always moving on to the next thing, moving on to the next thing. You don't even stop to realize like how much you've already accomplished. So I think, at what point do I just like slow down? Like I don't want to be one of those people that just like slows down, because that's not me. But also, at what point am I just like, you know what? I think I just have to do a lot more self-reflection. I think that is the thing. And the other thing is social media. And I feel like I'm going to sound like a broken record, but like just scrolling less, like truly scrolling less. And I feel like a lot of people, especially influencers I follow, like Victoria, the Anna Edit, Alana Davison, like scrolling less. It's hard now. Like your phone is right there and there's so many different things to scroll. And like I feel like everything has an app. It's not even necessarily social media. It's like the New York Times has an app, even like cooking things or like workout apps I have. Like everything is like so scrollable, and I'm just like always like, oh, it's so easy. It's at the palm of my hand. Like being able to see all these different influencers who are like baking influencers or like parent influencers or like workout, like fitness influencers. And then I have these like baking apps and these things. It's just like, well, I have all these things in the palm of my hand. I should be able to be a good baker, be a good like wife, be an athlete of some sort. It's all just so accessible that it's like, well, why not? But also I just need to stop scrolling and just self-reflect and be like, you know what, I'm good with where I'm at right now. Like I don't need to be the best at everything, because these people that you follow on Instagram or TikTok or wherever, like these fitness influencers, like that is literally their full-time job. But meanwhile, I'm following like 1,000 different people, and it's like the top fitness influencer, the top fashion influencer, the top whatever influencer, and I'm like comparing myself to all these people who do this for like a full-time job. So it's just, I need to just stop scrolling. And I actually looked at getting one of those things. I think it's like Bloom or Brick. I think they're both the same thing. I think the Brick is more like you basically they're like physical things that you attach to your phone or link to your phone, and you don't use your certain apps like when you don't have it present, or you have to like scan a card to like use an app or something, but the card is like hidden somewhere in your home or whatever. And I do kind of like that idea. And I feel like I'm always like, I'm not going to scroll before bed, I'm not going to scroll when I wake up, but I always do. So I think it just comes down to like scrolling less truly, and just having more self-reflection, because we're all doing so well and we're all doing so much. And I'm not saying that life is easier now or harder now than it was before the internet. Like I feel like life was probably just as hard, if not harder, before the internet. But the internet was invented to like help us, I'm sure, become like have everything more accessible to us and make things easier. But because of that, there's like more and more expectation to be able to like do all these things and be great at all these things because you have it so accessible. But now these expectations are so high, and I'm like, I just can't keep up. So I think I need to dial back on the internet a little bit, and just truly just use the internet for like what it was built to be, just like a tool. I've also heard a lot of other people talk about how you think scrolling, you're going to find all this inspiration for creativity. Creating content is like, for me, it's an artistic outlet, and I've always had that in me to be like artistic. And when I scroll, I feel like we scroll because we're like, oh, well, we're going to be inspired by other people. But I feel like it's where comparison happens, and which is the thief of joy, the quote. But it's also, it drains my creativity. Like I feel like my creativity is hidden because I'm trying to like soak it up from these apps, but really I just need to let my own creativity shine. Might not make sense and might sound kind of crazy, but it makes sense to me that I just feel like scrolling is just not the answer anymore. So I'm trying to dial it back now that I'm getting older, and just trying to have some self-reflection and like trust myself that I'm doing the best I can, and that creativity is in me already. Anyways, that's my long rant about getting older and just feeling like I'm trying to be all these different people, but truly I am. I'm just, maybe I'm not the best baker, and I'm not the best fashion, and I'm not like this Olympic athlete, but I'm doing the best I can, and I think that's pretty good. So anyways, that's my rant. Before I forget, I mean, I use this mirror and I don't feel like it totally lifts my hair up that much, but it does give it a good color. Long story short, I used to pick out my eyebrows when I was younger, because I was nervous. I don't really have a lot of brow hair. It has grown back. I haven't done it in a long time, but any hair that is back, I feel like it's kind of like shorter and hard to kind of brush up anyways. So anyways, I use this Merit brow gel, I guess, in the color taupe. I love this. I've repurchased that a million times. For mascara, I'm so particular because I hate when it flakes. I hate flaky mascara. It is garbage. For a while I was using Urban Decay Perversion, which is a really good mascara, but it is a little, I don't want to say heavy, but it deposits a lot. So if you want like big voluminous lashes, totally do that. Lately I've kind of dialed that back and I just want to do more, I don't know, simple lashes. And I love Lancome, it says on it. The Lancome Hypnose mascara, and I get brown because I'm so pale and blonde, but I mean it's quite dark brown. I feel like you can't even tell. It's just a lot softer than like a black. But do my top lashes, I do bottom lashes. Lips, I wear this every day. Rhode Peptide Lip Shape in Twist. It is the best. I just like, obviously I like my look to be very natural, bronzy, glowy, and I feel like this plays into that. I want to be natural. I don't want it to look too overdone at all. Like I don't like a harsh line of a liner. So yes, I overline. I'm very dehydrated right now. My lips look so small. That's another thing about staying hydrated is like my lips get so plumpy and nice when I'm hydrated. When I'm dehydrated, they're like flat. They like curl inwards like a dehydrated flower. Aww. So anyways, draw this in. Sometimes I fill it in a bit. I definitely focus on the outer parts. It's just like the perfect contour color, and I do love to just blend it. And I know some people are like, the Rhode doesn't last, like, because it's like not a harsh line, and it's a little, it is like a more moist, like it's not a pencil, it's like a, I don't know what you would call this. I mean, yeah, it's like a contour stick. So I feel like it does last though. I think it just depends on what your goal is, and my goal is to be like a contour lip. I feel like that's what this gives me. And like I said before, I will sometimes go in with the Laneige and just kind of give it more plumpiness and shine. In terms of blush and more like powder bronzer, again, don't be mad, but this is probably, I've never shared that I use this, but I still use the Marc Jacobs Omega Bronze. I know, crazy. Marc Jacobs doesn't even exist anymore. And when I tell you like the mirror is broken, there's like barely anything left, I have never found a color as good as this. In terms of like skin finishing, Hourglass. That's another one I do use every day. I have a couple of Hourglass palettes. It's literally the best powder for your face, like the best like skin finishing. So I will go in, I have the Hourglass, what is it, the Soft Light, Ambient Lighting Palette Volume 2. Switch between the three. I've kind of like, I don't know, put it in a couple of them. If I feel like I need more color. If I'm going to work, like, I feel like I'm good. I feel like my face has enough color, some definition. If I'm going out on like a day date with my husband or something, sure, I'll put more on. I do like it over the nose. I feel like it gives it a good, like, cute bronzy look. Your skin looks airbrushed. Like, it's so nice. I love that. I have the little like Rhode pocket blushes, and Freckle is my favorite one. It's like kind of like a tan orange one. I don't want to say that, sounds weird. Like a tan coral, like a nude coral. That one's really flattering. I have been kind of opting for a more powder blush recently, and I use this. It's like an old Hourglass palette. Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit Unlocked Jellyfish. And I use just like the orange one there. I have pink blushes. I have like darker red blushes. I just always go back to like an orange. I just like the look of like a sun-kissed, borderline sunburnt look. Usually I just go over my nose, cheeks, a bit of the forehead. And that's what I like to look like. Lips done. Yeah, that's basically it. Truly in the morning it takes like 10 minutes. Obviously I've been talking through a lot of things, which is why it's taken a bit longer. That's basically it. I guess I'll quickly throw into, if I'm wanting to really like elevate my beauty for the day, I will go in with a fragrance. I feel like I never talk about fragrances, and they are very important to me. There's this one that's like I never see anyone talk about, but it's the Yuso Vert Salvia Salvia. So for me, fragrance, I am very much a green, earthy, I mean, you can kind of see my place. It's like earthy, green, woodsy. I like that. I like unisex scents. I'm not a floral person. I do not like vanilla in my fragrances. I nothing sweet. Yeah, like a wood, earthy, green kind of scent. So this one, this just smells like a dry mezcal margarita. It's like lime and salt is basically what this smells like, and it's so nice. It is drier. It smells like, yeah, like a dry, like it smells like a lime margarita salt rim in like the desert. Okay, my camera overheated, so I ended it there, but let's wrap this up. Let me just say, I walked past a mirror and I realized how dark I had drawn on the peptide contour, so I did just blend it in a lot more, so hopefully that looks a lot less crazy, because I can't really tell on the camera how crazy it looks, but this is more of what that would look like. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions about this makeup look, and if you want me to do a video on fragrances, because I love fragrances. I feel like the kinds that I like, the more like woodsy green ones, are like, no one talks about those. Maybe it's because no one likes them, so maybe no one really cares, but I feel like my husband and I, we share all of our fragrances. He has some really cool ones too. If you're looking for or want to know more about like men's fragrances, I love his. He has such a good nose for fragrances, like colognes and stuff. So maybe I'll do a video on that. If you want me to, let me know below. But yeah, otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Also, random fact, I actually should have mentioned this at the beginning. I went to school before, like in the middle of my degree, when I was going to, for my first degree, I actually have a degree. My first degree is in science, like general science. Well, it's like biology, chemistry, and math. But in the middle of that, I wasn't sure if I wanted to continue a career in science, so I went to makeup school for a year. So I went to makeup school. Not like bragging or anything, but I just want to say that like that was like, how many years ago? I want to say like 15 years ago. So no, I don't like practice it at all, but I'm just saying that like I have tried a ton of makeup, but obviously more recently I just know what I like. So if you have any like makeup recommendations for things, especially like a new like bronzing or contour powder that you love. I was looking at the Dior one, or a more like setting powder, because the Givenchy obviously doesn't exist anymore. Then let me know below. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching and have a great week. Talk to you later. Bye. And thank you so much for listening to my rant. This is kind of like the first time I've kind of ended my kind of mid-30s rant. I hope it all made sense. But anyways, thank you so much for watching and have a great week. Bye.